Hello, radiant soul of Leo. This is Luna Celestine, and today I want to speak to the deeper part of you. The part that has always sensed there is more to certain encounters than coincidence. What I'm about to share isn't just knowledge. It's a recognition, a moment of alignment between your outer life and your inner knowing. You may have recently met someone, or they may already be in your life, who doesn't feel like a stranger. Even if you can't explain why, their presence feels significant, familiar. There's something in the way they look at you, the ease of connection, the unspoken understanding, as if they've seen you before, as if you've walked this path together once, long before this lifetime. This isn't your imagination. What you're sensing is real. It's the beginning of a karmic recognition, an energetic memory surfacing from beneath the layers of time. And this moment, this feeling, is not random. It is the first sign of a deeper journey beginning to unfold, a journey that we will now explore together as we step into the nature of karmic connections and what they mean for you, Leo. Let's begin. This is not a connection built on chance or surface attraction. It is the result of a spiritual contract made long ago, a promise made not with words, but with energy, intention, and shared evolution. Over the course of many lifetimes, your soul and theirs have intersected in various forms, in different bodies, under changing circumstances, but always with the same underlying purpose: to grow, to mirror, and to heal together. You may have been partners in love, collaborators in purpose, or even adversaries who taught each other vital truths. The form has shifted, but the essence has remained. Now, in this lifetime, the thread is being picked up once more, not because it is convenient, not because it is easy, but because the timing is finally aligned. The lessons you were once too unprepared to absorb, you are now strong enough to face. The healing you resisted in past incarnations, you are now courageous enough to allow. And the purpose you began together so long ago, you are now positioned to fulfill, not only for yourselves, but for the greater good of those around you. This connection may not make sense to others. It may not follow familiar timelines or social expectations, but karmic connections rarely do. What defines them is not how they look from the outside, but how deeply they activate something in your inner world. A sense of remembering, a sense of urgency, a feeling that you are being pulled towards something that is both mysterious and inevitable. And that's because you are. This is the moment when the soul steps forward to reclaim what has always been waiting. Not a fairy tale, not a fantasy, but a sacred agreement, resurfacing because you are ready to meet it. The bond you share with this soul defies logic because it wasn't meant to be understood with the mind. It is felt in the body, in the subtle shifts of energy when they walk into the room, in the way your nervous system relaxes even as your heart begins to race. From the outside, it might look like coincidence, a chance meeting, a spontaneous conversation, a reconnection after years apart. But inside, everything in you knows this is not new. This is a continuation. You may notice a strange familiarity in the way they speak, the rhythm of their voice, the values they hold, or the dreams they carry. You may finish each other's sentences, feel each other's emotions, or sense their presence, even when they are not physically near. This is not fantasy, it's resonance. It's two soul frequencies harmonizing after lifetimes apart. The challenges they bring are not meant to push you away, but to draw you deeper into yourself. They reflect the parts of you you've hidden, the patterns you've inherited, the strengths you didn't know were sleeping. Sometimes this feels tender and affirming. Other times it feels like being cracked open. But always it leads to truth. And perhaps the most profound sign of all is this: being around them makes you want to become more of who you truly are, not for their approval, not to earn their love, but because something about their presence reminds you of your own light. Their love doesn't fix you, it frees you. It holds space for your wildness, your wisdom, your wounds, and says, I see all of it, and I'm still here. This is not about dependency or possession. This is about sacred activation. You are not halves trying to become whole. You are whole beings, awakening new dimensions within each other. And that, Leo, is what makes this connection unlike any other. You came into this life not just to experience love, but to express it in a way that transforms everything it touches. And this connection, this sacred meeting of two souls, is not an endpoint, but a catalyst. When your energies combine, something powerful is awakened, not just between you, but around you. People may notice it in the way you move together, in the way your presence shifts a room, in the silent strength that emanates from your union. This is not about grand displays or perfection, it's about energetic alignment. A deep, steady current that flows beneath the surface, carrying with it the power to restore, to inspire, and to build. The mission you share may not be immediately obvious. It may unfold over time, piece by piece, through conversations, dreams, or a series of unexpected synchronicities. You might be called to create a space that feels like home for others, to raise children who break ancestral cycles, to launch a project that speaks to the soul of the world, or simply to live in a way that embodies integrity, devotion, and wholeness in a time when those qualities are rare. What matters is not the form. It is the frequency. It is the shared commitment to become more than what either of you could be alone. And because the mission is sacred, it will require your growth, not just emotional growth, but spiritual maturity. You will be asked to expand, to soften, to rise, to choose love not when it is easy, but when it is honest, to communicate not just with words, but with presence, to hold each other without possession, and to walk together without losing yourselves. In this kind of union, success is not measured by longevity or by how others perceive you. It is measured by how deeply you are able to awaken each other's gifts, by how courageously you hold space for transformation, by how consciously you honor the purpose that brought you together. This is not just a relationship, it is a vessel, one that carries the light of something much older and much greater than either of you alone. This kind of love does not obey ordinary timelines or definitions. It does not move according to social rhythms or emotional expectations. Karmic love lives in a dimension of its own, timeless, spacious, often confusing to the rational mind, but deeply recognizable to the soul. And that is why you may feel unsure at times. You may wonder why you feel so drawn, so affected, so seen, and yet so vulnerable. Because this love does not come to decorate your life. It comes to restructure it from within. There will be moments when you want to run. Not because you don't care, but because the energy is so intense it feels like too much. It wakes up parts of you you thought you had healed. It asks questions you don't yet have answers for. It breaks down the walls you built for safety, because those walls can no longer hold who you're becoming. You may find yourself cycling between profound intimacy and deep resistance, wanting to be closer, yet fearing what will happen if you surrender. But that is the essence of karmic connection. It is not soft and predictable. It is sacred and catalytic. It holds a mirror so clear that you cannot unsee yourself. And that is the real invitation. Not to lose yourself in the other, but to finally meet yourself through their presence. You do not need to define it right away. You do not need to explain it to others or even to yourself. The mind will try to label what the soul simply knows. But if you slow down, if you stop analyzing and just breathe through the discomfort, you will begin to sense a deeper rhythm at play. One that is not about being certain, but about being present. One that does not demand clarity, but invites trust. This love may bring chaos before it brings clarity. It may ask you to unlearn old ways of relating, to dismantle unhealthy attachments, to feel emotions you've spent years avoiding. But every wave that threatens to drown you is actually pulling you toward your own shoreline, toward the parts of yourself you abandoned, toward the truths you buried, toward the freedom you secretly crave. And as you continue to walk through this, with patience, with honesty, with a willingness to remain soft, you will find yourself transformed, not just in how you love this person, but in how you love your own life. You will become more present, more grounded, more connected to your body, to your heart, to the now. You will begin to live not from fear or performance, but from essence, because true karmic love doesn't just change your relationship status, it rewrites the architecture of your being. It is not here to fill your emptiness. It is here to reveal that you were never empty to begin with. It is here to awaken a level of intimacy, truth, and wholeness that has always lived inside you, quietly waiting to be remembered. So let it shake you, let it soften you, let it rebuild you. And most of all, Leo, let it show you that you were made for this kind of depth. Not everyone is, but you are. Leo, this connection was never meant to be ordinary, because you were never meant to live an ordinary life. You were born under the radiance of the sun, guided by a soul encoded for warmth, leadership, and unshakable presence. But even the brightest light needs reflection. Even the sun in all its glory finds meaning when it meets the horizon. And now this soul, whether already in your life or soon arriving, is not coming to complete you, but to reflect you, to stand beside you, not beneath you, to co-create a field of energy so potent it begins to ripple outward, healing not just the two of you, but the quiet wounds of those around you. This is not the kind of love that arrives to fix you, because there is nothing broken. It arrives to awaken you, to bring you home to the parts of yourself that you've dimmed, diluted, or delayed. With this person, you won't feel the need to perform, to prove, to perfect, because in their presence you will remember your power is not something you have to earn, it's something you've always had. And more than that, you'll see that love doesn't have to be a struggle. It doesn't need to be extracted or negotiated. When it's real, it just is. It lives. It breathes. It holds you steady even when everything else begins to shake. This connection doesn't demand perfection. It asks for presence. It doesn't want you to fit a role. It wants you to show up, raw, whole, human. There will be times when you feel undone, when old patterns rise, when fears and doubts from past lives or early wounds whisper in your ear. You may feel pulled toward self-protection, may want to turn away from the intensity. But let me remind you, not everything that makes your heart race is a warning. Sometimes it's an invitation, an initiation, a doorway into a deeper version of yourself that you're finally ready to embody. And if you choose to stay, if you choose to open when it would be easier to shut down, you will witness a transformation that goes far beyond the surface. This isn't just about deepening your capacity to love this person. It's about becoming more available to life itself. You will begin to meet the world from a different frequency, grounded, embodied, present, and no longer afraid of your own tenderness. This relationship, if honored, becomes the womb of your becoming, the mirror through which you reclaim all the brilliance you've been withholding. Because karmic love does not just rearrange your outer world, it reorganizes your inner one. It doesn't just bring warmth, it brings clarity. It doesn't just offer companionship, it brings truth. It invites you to stop waiting to be ready and to begin living as though your soul has already remembered. Because it has. And know this love does not end here. It is not confined to the parameters of this life, this name, this face. It carries memory, it carries momentum, it carries the unfinished conversations and sacred promises from before. What you choose now, how deeply you love, how bravely you grow, will become the foundation of what your souls continue to build in the next life and beyond. So, even if this journey is difficult, even if it breaks you open, it is never for nothing. It is always preparation for something greater. That's why I'm not asking you if you're afraid. I know you are. We all are. when we stand at the edge of something real. I'm asking you something far more powerful. Are you ready? Ready to love with your eyes open? Ready to stand in the fire of truth without backing down? Ready to be a steward of a love that transcends time and reason? If your answer is yes, then know this. You are stepping into a sacred threshold, one that not everyone gets to cross, and once you do, nothing will ever quite be the same. Because you are not just here to find love, Leo. You are here to embody it, to live it, to radiate it in a way that makes others believe it's possible. And in doing so, you fulfill not just your heart's longing, but your soul's destiny. So when that soul stands before you, whether you meet them in the stillness of a sunrise or in the chaos of an ordinary day, don't hesitate, don't shrink, don't ask why. Just feel, just remember, just allow. Because what's waiting for you is not just a relationship, it's a return, a reunion, a promise fulfilled across time. And this time, you're ready. If someone already awakens this feeling within you, if you've looked into their eyes and recognized something that words cannot touch, something ancient, something aching and true, then hold it with reverence. Don't take it for granted, even when it feels overwhelming, because connections like these don't arrive in every lifetime. They are not found in every glance, every embrace, or every conversation. They are rare threads woven through time, meant to be remembered, not controlled. So, if you're already holding it in your hands, cherish it. Let it teach you. Let it challenge you. Let it bring out the parts of you you never knew were sleeping. And if that person has not yet arrived, if your soul still waits at the doorway, feeling the winds of something coming but not yet seen, then stay open, stay soft, stay ready. The universe is never early and never late. These connections arrive with cosmic precision at the moment when you are finally able to receive, to recognize, and to rise to meet them. So do not despair in the waiting. The space between the recognition and the arrival is still part of the journey. And sometimes, the becoming that happens in the waiting is the very reason you're able to step into the sacred when it finally appears. If any part of this message stirs something inside you, if you felt seen, remembered, or spoken to in ways you can't quite explain, leave me a comment. Tell me what your soul knows, even if your mind doesn't have the words. Because when we share our remembering, we create space for others to awaken too. And if this felt like a truth your heart has been waiting for, I invite you to subscribe, because this is only the beginning. There is so much more to uncover, so much more to reclaim, and so many buried knowings ready to rise to the surface. What we're doing here isn't just astrology, it's soul work, it's sacred patterning, it's remembrance, with infinite love and the deepest gratitude for your presence. I'm Luna, and wherever you are on your journey, whether just beginning or already deep in the spiral, I want you to know you are not walking it alone. I'll see you again, across time, across dimensions, and always in the quiet places where truth meets soul.